Part 4. Investing and Wealth Building. Wealth doesn't come from a moment. It comes from momentum, and momentum takes time. In this part of the book, we moved beyond spending and saving into the quiet, steady world of building wealth. We uncovered a truth that surprises many people. Getting rich isn't about hitting it big. It's about staying consistent, managing wisely, and being patient when it's boring. You saw how the most important investment isn't in the stock market. It's in your behavior, how you handle risk, how you manage what you have, how you choose long-term peace over short-term pleasure. We explored why boring portfolios often outperform flashy ones, why starting small matters more than starting big, and why real wealth doesn't seek attention, it seeks security. This part wasn't about becoming a millionaire overnight. It was about shifting your identity from consumer to builder, from spender to investor. Because once your money starts working for you, not the other way around, you unlock something powerful. Not just more dollars, more freedom, more choice, more time. Wealth building isn't a race, it's a rhythm. And the ones who win aren't the loudest. They're the ones who keep showing up, quietly, steadily, purposefully. Chapter 19. Wealth takes time. Everyone wants to build wealth, but no one wants to wait. We crave speed, shortcuts, explosive returns. We scroll through stories of millionaires who made it before 30. We chase trends, hoping to get lucky. But real wealth? It doesn't come from speed. It comes from time. Jason was tired of feeling behind. He was 30, smart and ambitious, and he was determined to catch up fast. He dove into crypto, day trading, and online courses promising passive income. For a while, it looked like he was winning. One of his coins tripled. A few trades went right. He bragged to friends, felt proud, even bold. Then came the crash. First a dip, then a spiral. The same assets that made him feel unstoppable now made him panic. He sold at a loss. And just like that, his wealth was gone. He felt ashamed, exhausted, back at square one. Worse, because now he didn't trust himself. Meanwhile, his co-worker Rachel was living a very different story. She earned the same salary, no risky bets, no midnight research, just quiet, boring consistency. She invested 15% of her income into index funds every month, every year. She never tried to time the market. She didn't chase headlines. She trusted the process. Jason once asked her, "Aren't you worried it's too slow?" Rachel smiled. "I'm not building excitement. I'm building security. Time is on my side." Over a decade, her wealth compounded. Slowly at first. Then suddenly, it grew faster. By year 10, she had over $120,000 saved. By year 15, she passed $250,000, all without panic, without guessing. Jason watched in awe. Not at her numbers, but at her peace, her stability. She wasn't stressed about money. She had options, time, freedom. That's what wealth really is, not flashy cars or viral wins, but quiet power, built with patience, sustained by habits. The world sells speed, but wealth rewards slowness. It honors those who stay, who build, who wait. You don't need to chase, you need to begin. Early, if possible. Consistently, always. Patiently, no matter what. Because compound growth doesn't just build your bank account. It builds your confidence, your freedom, your future. Wealth doesn't shout, it whispers. And if you give it time, it grows louder than you ever imagined. Wealth takes time, but that's what makes it strong. Chapter 20. Management over money. Earning money is one skill. Managing it is another. And most people confuse the two. They think income equals security, that if they just earn more, everything will be fine. But the truth, no amount of income can fix poor management. Eric was a high-income earner, 6 figures by the age of 32. He drove a Tesla, rented a luxury apartment, and never said no to dinner invites. To the outside world, he looked wealthy, but inside he lived paycheck to paycheck. Each month felt like a juggling act. Credit card bills, unexpected expenses, a savings account that never seemed to grow. Eric kept telling himself, "I just need one more raise." But when the raise came, nothing changed. His rent got higher, his shopping list longer, and his stress stayed the same. One weekend, Eric visited his cousin Marcus. Marcus earned half as much, lived in a modest home, drove a used Honda. But he had savings, no debt, and most importantly, peace of mind. Eric couldn't believe it. "How do you make it work?" he asked. Marcus smiled. "I give every dollar a job. Before I spend a single cent, I know where it's going." Marcus had learned early that control wasn't about income. It was about clarity. He tracked his spending, planned for surprises, automated his savings, and never let money slip through the cracks. Eric felt embarrassed. How could someone earning less feel more secure? But he knew the answer. He didn't have a money problem. He had a management problem. So he made changes. He started budgeting, canceled unnecessary subscriptions, set up a weekly money check-in. It was uncomfortable at first, looking at his habits, facing the numbers. But with each passing month, the chaos faded. His debt shrank, his savings grew, and for the first time in years, he felt in control. Eric didn't stop earning good money, but now he was managing it, intentionally, effectively, wisely, because financial peace doesn't come from how much you make. It comes from how well you manage what you make. More income won't fix disorder, but better decisions will. Management over money, always. Chapter 21. Risk is required. Most people say they want wealth, but what they really want is safety, certainty, a guarantee that nothing will go wrong. And that mindset is exactly what keeps them stuck. Lisa had always been cautious with money. She saved diligently, avoided debt, never spent on anything that wasn't absolutely necessary. By her late 30s, she had a sizable savings account, but it just sat there, year after year, earning less than 1% interest. Her friends were investing, buying rental properties, starting small businesses. Lisa watched quietly, saying to herself, "I'll invest when I feel ready." But ready never came. One day, she met Daniel at a friend's gathering. He was her age, but already semi-retired, traveling, working part-time on projects he loved. Curious, Lisa asked him, "Weren't you scared to invest? To risk your savings?" Daniel nodded. "Of course, but I realized something. Security is an illusion. If I stayed safe, inflation would eat my savings. Opportunities would pass me by. And one day, I'd wake up with no time left to grow." Lisa went home thinking about that. For years, her fear had disguised itself as wisdom, but in reality, it had cost her time. And time is the one thing money can't buy back. The next week, she took a small step. She opened a low-risk index fund, just a few $100s, then a little more the next month. And slowly, she began to see growth. It wasn't just about the money, it was about the mindset. She realized that calculated risk is not recklessness. It's the price of progress. The truth is, no wealth is built without risk. Not reckless gambling, but informed, intentional, managed risk. Whether it's investing, starting a side hustle, or simply changing careers, every leap forward requires leaving the comfort zone. Lisa didn't become a millionaire overnight, but she did become braver, more proactive, more in control of her financial future, because staying safe had kept her stuck. It wasn't her income that was limiting her, it was her fear. Risk is required, not because it guarantees success, but because avoiding it guarantees regret. Chapter 22. Boring wins. Everyone wants the secret, the shortcut, the next big thing. We scroll through headlines about overnight crypto millionaires and stock-picking geniuses. It's tempting to believe that wealth is built in dramatic moments. But real wealth? It usually looks boring. Kevin spent his 20s chasing the thrill. He day traded stocks during lunch breaks, bought into speculative startups, and jumped on every trend Reddit buzzed about. Sometimes he won big. Other times he lost everything. His finances swung like a roller coaster. Each win fueled his confidence. Each loss drained his savings and his sleep. Kevin didn't build wealth. He built chaos. Meanwhile, his friend Andrew took a different path. Andrew automated a monthly investment into index funds. He didn't follow the market. He didn't try to outsmart anyone. He worked his 9-to-5, paid off debt, and lived below his means. 10 years passed. Kevin had stories. Andrew had money. Because while Kevin was chasing the next big thing, Andrew was building the next stable thing. Kevin looked flashy. Andrew looked boring. But boring works. It compounds. It's consistent. And over time, it beats even the smartest guesswork. It's easy to underestimate how powerful steady investing can be. It doesn't make headlines, it doesn't go viral, but it changes lives. Andrew didn't need to check his portfolio every day. He trusted the system he built. That freed up mental space. It freed up emotional energy. It freed up time. Kevin, on the other hand, was always in reaction mode, reacting to losses, reacting to news, reacting to fear. The truth is, emotional investing is exhausting, and it's rarely profitable. What works isn't thrilling. What works is routine, automatic, unremarkable, but relentless. If you want wealth that lasts, stop chasing excitement. Start embracing simplicity. Forget timing the market. Focus on time in the market. Choose patience over adrenaline. Choose systems over speculation. And most importantly, choose peace of mind over potential hype. Kevin eventually burned out. He stopped trading and started rebuilding. He called Andrew and asked how to start fresh. Andrew simply said, "Set it. Forget it. Let it grow." That advice changed Kevin's life. It was boring, and it worked. Because in personal finance, boring doesn't mean lazy. It means disciplined. It means strategic. It means you're playing the long game. Wealth doesn't need to feel exciting. It needs to feel steady, safe, sustainable. You don't have to chase big wins. Let small wins stack. That's how boring wins, every time. Chapter 23. Start small. Big dreams often die under their own weight. We say we'll save $1,000 a month, work out every day, change everything overnight, but after a week, we burn out, we quit, and we feel worse than before. Because the pressure of doing it all perfectly becomes the reason we do nothing at all. That's why real change begins small, microscopic even. Marcus always felt behind financially. He kept telling himself he'd start saving once things calmed down, once the debts were paid, once he got a raise, once life got easier. But once never came. Years passed, and Marcus still had nothing set aside. One day, his friend Lisa asked him a simple question. "Can you save $5 a week?" He laughed. "That's nothing. What's the point?" Lisa smiled. "That's exactly why you'll do it, because it feels too small to fail." Reluctantly, Marcus agreed. He set up an automatic transfer, $5 every Friday. At first, it felt pointless, but 2 months in, something shifted. It became a habit, then a source of pride, then a small emergency fund. Marcus didn't stop at 5. He increased it to 10, then 20. Eventually, he was saving $200 a month. Not because he made more, but because he proved to himself that he could start. And starting small gave him momentum. Lisa understood a powerful truth. Small actions beat big intentions. Consistency beats intensity, especially in money. You don't need to max out your retirement account today. You need to start with whatever you can, even if it's $5, even if it's loose change. Because the hardest part is motion. Once you move, you keep moving. Small creates space, space for belief, space for confidence, space to try again when life interrupts. Too many people wait to make the perfect move. But wealth isn't built in perfection. It's built in persistence, in tiny repeated steps that no one else sees. Small doesn't mean unimportant. Small means sustainable. And when done consistently, small becomes unstoppable. Marcus now tells others the same advice Lisa gave him. Start small, make it automatic, trust the process. Because the secret to building big isn't magic, it's momentum. And momentum always starts with something small. So don't wait for perfect. Don't wait for more money. Don't wait for motivation. Start today, start tiny, start where you are, and never stop. Chapter 24. Real wealth is quiet. Loud money looks impressive. Big houses, luxury cars, designer clothes. It shouts, "I made it." But the truth? Real wealth doesn't shout. It whispers. It's not in what you show. It's in what you keep. Kevin earned 6 figures by age 30. He lived in a high-rise, drove a sports car, and vacationed in Europe. His Instagram looked like a highlight reel of success, but behind the scenes, it was a different story. Kevin had no savings. He lived paycheck to paycheck, buried in credit card debt. He was always one unexpected bill away from panic. Why? Because he believed money was for proving, not for protecting. Then one day his car broke down. Again. The repair bill was $2,800. He didn't have it. That night, embarrassed and anxious, Kevin called his cousin Daniel for help. Daniel was the opposite of Kevin. Quiet life, modest house, old car, no designer labels. But Daniel had built real wealth, no debt. 6 months of emergency savings, investments growing quietly in the background. Kevin always thought Daniel was just average. But in that moment, Daniel was free, and Kevin wasn't. That conversation changed everything. Kevin realized he'd been performing wealth, not building it. He started making different choices. Sold the car, moved to a smaller apartment, cut up the credit cards, started saving. Slowly, consistently. It was hard. It was humbling. But over time, he felt something he hadn't felt in years. Peace. He didn't need to impress anyone anymore. He just needed to feel safe. Wealth isn't flashy. It's calm. It's being able to say no, to walk away, to sleep well. It's not found in what you buy, but in what you can afford to walk away from. The wealthiest people you meet may not look like it. They're not wearing it on their wrists. They're living it in their decisions. They choose simplicity over status, security over spectacle, because real wealth is invisible until it matters. It's the cushion that lets you take a risk, the safety net that keeps life from collapsing, the quiet power of knowing you're okay. You won't see it on social media. You won't hear it brag. But it's there, in the emergency fund, in the paid-off home, in the ability to retire early or never retire at all because you love what you do. So don't be fooled by the noise. Don't chase what sparkles. Build what lasts. Real wealth is quiet, but its silence is the loudest freedom of all.